Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to a sunny River Avon. It's the 12th of December today. Babysitters are in place. A babysitter, should I say, my mother. Thanks to her, so I can fish today into dark. It's about 2 o'clock now in the afternoon. I'm going to fish till perhaps 6 o'clock, something like that. The main target are going to be roach. I'm going to go on the feeder. I've got my TFG all-rounder. Nice white quiver tip for going into dark to put in the torch beam. Got my Okuma Longbow reel, £5 main line, and as I say, we're going to go for a roach. Come down to the private stretch, which you've seen me at a lot recently, purely because I did want to target some big roach, and I know there's some bigger ones in here. We've caught some reasonable ones. There's got to be some bigger ones in here. So with that in mind, I'm going to go on the feed. I've got maggots, worms and bread as bait. I'm going to go on the feeder. We'll fish maybe a third of the way across. River looks lovely. Obviously conditions are very sunny at the moment, but the river looks nice. There's about 6 or 8 inches of visibility, something like that. Although we are fishing into dark, so that's not a great problem. So we're going to go on the feeder. I've got some Angling Bait Company Pro Roach Groundbait mixed in with some of my own white crumb. We're going to get some of that in. I may go on the maggot feeder as well, just depends how things are. It's a little bit suck it and see. We'll see exactly what's happening. Right, enough talking. Really keen to get cast in, see what we can get. As I say, I'm not expecting anything too large until that big orange object in the sky disappears. It's supposed to go pretty cold this evening as well, pretty quickly, so who knows what that will do to the sport, but fingers crossed we can have a few fish anyway. So guys, I've had a few casts, put a few balls of groundbait in. Not likely to catch anything that's going to beast me, so I've clipped up so I'm nice and accurate with the feed. Just using a Guru gripper feeder there, and above that I've got a float stop, a little bead over the top. That is just to stop the lead, or the feeder in this case, shooting off down to the tip when I'm trying to fill it up. And below it I've got another one, exactly the same. The idea being that I can move this and effectively lengthen or shorten my hook link without having to change hook links or retie or whatever. And on there I've just got one of these matrix hook length swivels. Swivel stops everything twisting up, and under that little bit of rubber is a little hook, so I can take my hook link on and off really quickly. So it's a good setup for not having to mess about too much, but being able to change hook links quickly, change the length of the hook link even quicker than that. So I can get a really rapid bite. I could make my hook link longer and vice versa. Right, I'm going to start off a reasonable size hook, I think. Might start on a worm, perhaps. I think. Start off on a dendrobina. I'm going to cast fairly regularly to start with, to get a bit more bait in. I have thrown a few handfuls in, but balls of groundbait, I should say. Groundbait has just got a little bit of hemp in it, nothing else. But I may put a maggot feeder on and get some maggots out. It just depends what sort of reaction I get from the fish, really. So we're going to start on dendrobina. On a size 14. And we'll see what's around. Be nice to catch some chub, be nice to catch some bream as well. Some big old slabs in here. But really it would be nice to catch a big old roach. But we'll see, we're fishing. Well, getting roached straight away. That's a good sign. Well, lots of small roach about, judging by how the tip's bouncing. Can only be a good sign. Fantastic. So there seems plenty of roach there, so I'm going to put some maggots through the feeder as well. See if that helps. We've got some lovely lens flare going on. I was going to say, ducks in the water here, that's a bit of a rarity. Since the otter and his mates turned up. Spend most of the time on the bank these days. I've tried worm and I've tried maggots. Maggots I'm just getting smashed up within seconds. So I'm going to avoid them, I think, certainly till it gets dark. Even worm, I'm getting lots of bangs and rattles. There's clearly lots and lots of smaller roach there. Not really out this evening to build a bag of fish. I'm sure I could put a size 18 on, cut the maggots, and I'll catch a fish about every 30 seconds by the looks of this tip, but concentrate on something a little bit bigger this evening. Might even manage one of the nice perch that are in here. I think my worm has been chewed to pieces. I think I'll try bread. Yeah, yes. Absolutely chewed to death. Let's try a bit of bread. Tiny little bit of flake. I'm sure this is going to get smashed to pieces as well. Maybe a case of putting up with it until it gets darker and the smaller fish tend to go to sleep a little bit. Well, do they go to sleep? They tend to sight feed, I think. So they calm down a little bit as it gets dark. And get your bait in the water long enough for the big ones to find it. Yeah, bite straight away. Don't think that bit of bread's going to last down there very long. Different sort of bite. Tangled me up. No end. What they were doing to that, I don't know. Quite a long tail on at the moment. Quite a long distance between the hook link and the feeder, between the hook and the feeder. Just to get a nice drop on the bait. The bait will fall through the water nicely. Right, let's try again. Classic roach bait, isn't it? Bread, but I have to say, always done better on worms for roach. Touchdown. It's about 11 foot out there from having float fished it. Something like 11 foot. Proper pull round and I missed it. I think. Yeah. Well, they're certainly having it down there, which is great. Like I say, I'm not too fussed today that we're not pulling a small roach in every cast. Quite happy to not spook them. Get some feed in, let them have a good nosh, and hopefully that will attract the bigger fish in. Woolly hat on, I think. I've got a cold around my ears already. Oh dear, I'm getting absolutely smashed. Oh well, I don't think we're going to be able to fish bread just yet either. Absolutely destroyed. Let's shorten this hook link down so it's not fluttering about in the current so enticingly. Try that. Get down to the bottom quicker. Sure, we'll get some chub on bread if we fish bread after it gets dark. Got quite a few chub in here, but never when it's light. I don't know what they do, whether they sit under the trees and come out when it's dark, I'm not sure, but they're just not around in the light. whatever this is, hit it on the way down. Well, that's good. It's the appropriate species. It's great, just as the light levels are dropping. Like that. That'll do for a start. Fantastic. Just as the light levels are dropping. Well guys, I think we've got some predators turned up. It's gone very, very quiet. I've gone on to maggots and it's gone very, very quiet. And just in a lot of fish scatter across the top. Oh guys, we're into something. Not quite sure what. It's probably a bream. It's a funny old fight for a bream. It's a bream. Well, there he is. Not even a particularly big one for this stretch, but broke the deadlock. It's been absolutely dead since those Xander went through. Absolutely dead. Maybe there's a few fish there now. I'm not going to give it too much longer now. Perhaps give it another 20 minutes, something like that. Oh gosh, we're in again. Feels breamy again. Yes. Well, that's a proper one. That's a proper one. Well, guys, it's not the roach we were after. But I can't moan at that. Look at the size of that. Absolute unit. Fantastic. That's brilliant. I'm going to call it a day at that, to be honest. It's absolutely freezing. Absolutely freezing cold. It's time to go home anyway. But yeah, it's proper chilly now. Right, I'm going to get this fella back in the water. All is left to do is to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoying your own angling, and I will see you again very soon.